this episode, we're going to share with you 10 reasons that you should travel light on your next trip to the Philippines from lessons that we've learned on our multiple trips to the Philippines. And then we're going to open up our bags and expose exactly what we're taking with us on our 2-month trip to the Philippines.
Welcome in to another episode of Foreigner Loves Filipina.
Hi, today I'm here at the Lynchburg Regional Airport, specifically a baggage claim. But I'm not here to claim a bag. I'm actually here to tell you why we don't ever check bags, specifically when we're going to the Philippines. In fact, we've learned that traveling light is the best way to enjoy the islands, be stress-free, and fully embrace a simple life. But let me break down a few reasons why you want to travel light when you go to the Philippines. Take only with you a carry-on and or backpack. First off, nothing kills the excitement of arriving in the Philippines to find out that you made it, but your bag didn't. And unfortunately, if you check a bag, that's a very real risk. The chances of having a bag lost or delayed on an international flight versus a domestic flight is 8 times. And we all know that even domestically, the rates aren't great. So checking a bag for international flight really puts you at risk. And even if the bag isn't lost, just delayed, it's still going to mean wasted time going back to the airport, or you might even have to delay your flight to wherever else you're going to the Philippines. If you have just a carry-on, your bag stays with you the whole time and you stay in control. Air travel doesn't often go the way it's planned. There's cancellations, delays all the time. In fact, on one of my initial flights to the Philippines to visit Melanie, I had a flight out of Washington, D.C. that was connecting in Chicago and then going on to Manila. And after I checked in and got to the gate, my flight out of D.C. was delayed. And my many years of business travel here in the U.S. have taught me that flights are rarely delayed one time. If it's delayed once, it's probably going to be delayed multiple times and maybe canceled. And I saw there was another flight that was going to get into Chicago around the same time as my delayed flight, so I wanted to switch to that. And I went to the counter and asked the lady at the counter if I could switch, and she asked me if I had any checked bags, and I told her no, I didn't. And because I didn't have any checked bags, she was able to switch me onto the other flight. Had I had a checked bag, I probably would not have been able to make that change, because there are security regulations that they want you on the same plane that your bags are on. So they often will not let you change once you have a bag already in the system. And as I had suspected, that first flight was delayed several more times, and if I had stayed on that flight, I would have missed my connection to Manila. But because I travel light and only had a carry-on, I was able to rebook and reschedule and stay on time. Now let's talk money. On most international flights, you're only allowed one free checked bag, and then every additional bag is an additional $25 to $100 each way, depending on the airline and the class of ticket you have. And that can add up really fast, especially if you're taking multiple flights once you get into the Philippines. So stick with a carry-on or a backpack and spend that extra money on something fun, like an island hopping trip or a snorkeling trip. Now this right here, baggage claim, is a place I try to avoid at all costs if I can. There's nothing better than getting off a long international flight and walking right past baggage claim and watching all the other people stand there as you exit the airport. And that's particularly true in Manila, because Manila is well known for its delays in baggage claim, particularly in Terminal 3 where most of the international flights come in. They have a 20-year-old baggage claim system there. They are working on upgrading it. They have been for about a year, but that's made the delays even worse, not better. And they're expecting that integration of the new system to go on at least through this summer. So expect those delays to continue. So it's just better to carry your own bag, travel light, have no stress, and move on quickly. When you arrive in the Philippines, you're almost certainly going to use some type of public transportation, whether it's a jeepney or a bus or a trike or a ferry. And trying to jam a bunch of oversized bags in the back of a trike just isn't going to work. But even here in the U.S., we use public transportation to make it easier to get to the airport, using Amtrak, the DC Metro, the New York City subway system. And then when we arrive in Manila, because we travel light, we're able to just walk over the runway bridge to our Airbnb, which is just a short walk away. This past year, we stayed at the Airbnb at the One Palm Tree, just a short walk from the Manila airport across the one-way bridge. I shared some more about that in episode 4 if you want to see where we stay. I recommend staying when you're going to Manila. But as we were exiting the hotel lobby, there was another couple there that had 6 giant bags that they were sitting there waiting for a ride, or I guess a taxi to take them to the airport, and it just made me really thankful. It made me really thankful that we travel light, and it really made me thankful that I have a provincial Filipina wife that understands the value of keeping it simple. And it made our walk to the airport simple and easy. We just walked across the runway, no waiting for a taxi, no expense of a taxi, and just kept it simple and no delays. Now, I know when you're packing, one of the big fears is, what if I need this and what if I need that? But the reality is, once you get to the Philippines, you're going to be able to find anything you need, whether it's toiletries or clothes or beach wear. The local malls and sorry stores are going to have what you need. And the facts are, it's going to be cheaper for you to buy there than buy here anyhow. So if there's a question on whether you need something or not, the answer is no, you don't. Leave it. The only two real exceptions I can think to that is if you are a larger guy like myself, finding things that are in sizes of XL or larger can be difficult if you're not one of the major cities of Manila, Cebu, or Davao. So if you got big feet, you might want to make sure you bring your flip-flops. The only other exception would be if there's a very specific toiletry that you absolutely have to have. You may have difficulty finding it, but I think if you're willing to be flexible, you will find that you can always find something there that will be suitable and you'll be happy with. Another reason not to overpack when you're going to the Philippines is that laundry services in the Philippines are fast, cheap, and everywhere. Normally, just a short walk from your hotel, you will find a laundry service. And for just a few dollars, maybe $3 or $4, they will do a full load of clothes for you. They will wash them, dry them, and neatly fold them into a nice little cellophane pack for you. And normally it's done same day. So you can drop them off in the morning, go have your day of fun island hopping or scuba diving, whatever you're going to do. And when you come home, you'll have fresh, clean clothes. So there's really no need to have 20 outfits with you when you go. You can do your wash like we do every 4 or 5 days, and you'll be fine. You'll have fresh, clean clothes. Plus, most days you're going to be in beach wear anyhow. You're going to be in shorts and flip-flops. So, really in the Philippines, socks and underwear are optional, and I'll share a little bit more about that in a moment when we show you what we take and don't take to the Philippines. The Philippines is an island hopping paradise without a doubt. If you're anything like us, you're not going to be staying in one spot. You're going to be taking ferries and small planes and trikes to get to where you need to go. And all of these are much easier with less luggage. Ferries have very steep stairways and very narrow gangways. The planes of the Philippines, they're very strict about the size and weight of your bags, which I'll share a little bit more in just a minute. So the lighter you pack and the more mobile you can be, the more flexible you can be, the better. If you're going to be flying domestically within the Philippines, you should know that the Philippines domestic airlines have very strict requirements on weight and size of bags, even for carry-ons. They normally only allow you 7 kilos or 15 pounds. Now, one pro tip that we learned last year is that they often don't weigh your backpack. So if you have heavy things, put them in your backpack rather than your carry-on. On a Cebu specific flight home from Manila to Hong Kong, we did run into an issue where they went to weigh our not our check bags, but our carry-on bags, and they were over 15 kilos, and the attendant told us that we would have to check the bags. And of course I said, no, I'm not going to check the bags. And I was trying to negotiate with her, but she was quite insistent that we were going to have to check our bags. And that even though we had flown several other Cebu-specific flights earlier on the trip and never had any issues. And so I asked her, well, what if we move stuff out of the bags and put them into our backpack? And she said, that's fine. And I said, well, what's the weight restrictions on our backpacks? And she said, there's none, because you're wearing them. Now, that makes no sense at all. I don't know why they would have that rule, but that's what we were told. So we began moving things out of the roller bags to our backpacks, trying to get our roller bags under 15 pounds. And even though we never did get the roller bags under 15 pounds, she finally relented and let us take the bags, because I think she realized we weren't going to give up. So it was just another advantage of traveling light, that luckily we had space in our backpacks so we could begin moving stuff and put it there, and that helped resolve the issue for us. Also, fewer bags equals fewer worries. You're less likely to lose something, and it's easier to keep track of things if you have fewer bags. You don't want to be in a really busy airport terminal or a real busy ferry terminal trying to keep track of a bunch of different bags, because those terminals can be very congested and packed, and it's just easier if you have fewer bags. So travel light to keep it safe. So stick with me. I'm going to head home now, and Melanie and I are both going to show you what we are preparing to take with us on our 2-month trip to the Philippines. You will be surprised at what we take and what we don't take. And if you stay all the way to the end, I'm going to share 2 pro tips on things you absolutely do want to take, and they're items that you probably would never think of. Now we're going to show you exactly what Melanie and I have packed for our upcoming 2-month trip to the Philippines, so that you can get an idea, if you're planning, what you might want to take on a trip as well. In advance of this trip, to avoid carrying gifts with us, because obviously whenever we go back we take gifts, we did ship a large box of gifts, and we actually just found out just the other day that it's arrived. We sent it by way of LBC. It took like 3 months to get there, babe?
Yes.
The only thing, our personal things outside of the gifts that were in that bag, is we did have 2 cans of sunscreen, because sunscreen in the Philippines is very expensive, and it's actually hard to find good quality sunscreen outside of the tourist areas, and 1 bottle of lotion. But other than that, everything else are gifts for her family. So I'm going to first show you what I'm going to be taking in my backpack, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to be taking in my carry-on. So here, you can see this is not even half full. I really don't have a whole lot in this front compartment, but I do have a roll of like a foam tape. And this is actually really key, or at least for me it is, because I found whenever I get to the Philippines, I get blisters on my feet no matter what I do. So I'm taking this with me this time. Last year I had to buy some there. I do have an eye patch and earplugs that I use for on the airplane. I do have my neck roll. I really like this neck roll because it rolls up into this pouch. Okay, it's a really nice neck roll, but it rolls into this pouch, and I have found this to be quite handy because it allows me to strap it to the outside of my bag, and then I also have my over-the-ear headphones on the outside. And then that way, particularly if I'm getting on the plane and I want my headphones, I can get to them easy and I don't have to get into any of the bags. Same thing here with this. This compartment, the main compartment, actually the only thing in here other than the camera equipment, this is a camera and our drone equipment. The only other thing in there is my sneakers. And then this component, I don't have my computer in here, but it just would be my computer. I do have my flip-flops in here. My flip-flops are here, and this is where my iPad would go. So that's the only other thing in that compartment. So there's actually quite a lot of extra room in this compartment and in this front compartment that if we needed to, either for souvenirs that we bring back, and or if what I discussed earlier, if we have a problem, we get an attendant at one of the gates that's giving us a hard time about our bag weight, we can transfer items over into my backpack because I do have some extra space. So you'll see this is just over 19 pounds. So if, you know, we found most of the time they don't weigh this bag, but we did have that one attendant last year at Cebu Specific that did. If I had to get 4 pounds out of here and put it in here, I could do that pretty easily. This is a brand new bag that Melanie just got me. She got it at a garage sale, brand new, $20. So she is the bargain shopper, and I appreciate it.
What you got in there, babe?
All right, this is my light jacket. I do take a light jacket. I will actually wear this on the plane. So I always like to wear a light jacket on the plane because you never know if the plane is going to be freezing cold or boiling hot. It's impossible to know. And this year, since we are going to Baguio, we're going to need a light jacket. But over here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 t-shirts, okay? And you'll notice they're all quick dry t-shirts. And you'll notice almost everything in here is quick dry. And I really would stress that if you can, you really want to avoid cotton, because if you're going to be in the water a lot and you don't want cotton, you want something that's quick dry and particularly if you want to swim in it or be in the waterfalls with a shirt. You don't want to stay out of the sun. 4 shorts. I actually will probably take 5 shorts. One was in the laundry, so it wasn't in here.
Water shoes.
These are the water shoes. Yeah. So these are water shoes. And then I have 6 pair of socks, which honestly I bet you all 6 don't get used. And then this is my watertight bag that we bought in the Philippines a couple years ago.
That's a waterproof.
Yeah, waterproof. You will want a waterproof bag, particularly if you're island hopping and going to waterfalls. But if you don't have it, I'll just buy it there. You can buy them cheap. At every tourist place, they have them. You can get them. You can get them there pretty much anywhere. There's no reason to take that with you if you don't. If you don't have one already.
It's to the other side.
All right, so the other side, you can see there's actually a lot of space here still, but I do have 4 collared shirts, okay? And now this one is cotton, but the other 3 are all quick dry. And then I have 3 pair of what I would call dressier shorts, nicer shorts that have a belt. Now the other thing I would mention that I find is very important on your shorts is you want to have something with a zipper. So all of these have a zipper in the back. Same thing, even with these that are, these are all have liners in them. So I can use them as swimwear or just to bust around town. But they all do have a small zipper in the back. So that way I got a place for the car keys and the room key and money. And then I don't have to worry about it falling out of my pocket. I actually do take 1 pair of underwear that I wear on the plane because I want to have underwear in case there's some bizarre security check or something.
So what's in my backpack? So I have of course, my Buffalo Bills hat. I love this.
I'll have a Bills hat too, but it'll be on my head.
So I need, this is not gonna be my head. So I have some stuff here. It's just a gift, extra gift. I have my fancy sandal in case we go to a fancy restaurant. So I have it in here. And I have my other sandal. It's just like for daily wear if we go somewhere else. And this is all my toiletries, everything is in this bag. And then I have here my other toiletries for my skincare routine because girls can't live without skincare. Right. And I have my makeup here. Everything is in here. Here, I'll just show you. That's all my makeup stuff.
I'm surprised she hardly ever wears makeup at all. I don't know if she needs it.
And then I have all my documents, of course, just in case they don't want me to, get out of the country and get in of the America. So I'm prepared. So that's it for my backpack. 17.1 pound side. So of course I have my my purse every time we go outside, and I have my other one. See, and I have my beach wear if we go somewhere to the beach. This is nice. This is long. And then this is also a beach wear. 12 of them maybe, but it's all like crop top.
Yeah, well, and plus she's so tiny.
It's all like crop top.
She's so tiny that it's so little fabric.
Yeah, because in Philippines it's too hot, so you might need to wear like crop top. And of course, all my swimwear. I need to have a swimwear. And this is my airport outfit. If we go to the airport, I have my outfit here. I know it's a lot, but I have my one piece of jean in case,
Oh yeah, I was going to mention that. You notice I didn't have any pants in mine. Only pair of pants I take are the jeans that I wear in the airport. So I
have my hair towel. I need to bring my hair towel because some of the hotel or Airbnb, they only have like a small one. And my shorts here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see, it's just 8, but like how much it is, because it is like all like kind of like leggings shorts. Look, that's why it takes a lot of it takes like just a little bit of space. Yeah, and of course I have my underwear at the bottom. I'm not gonna show it, but yeah. So pretty
Well,
much
that,
that's
guys,
it.
is the advantage of having a provincial Filipino wife, that she can pack so little, and she's perfectly happy. She won't even fill these 2 bags. We all know that the typical high maintenance American woman, you would have to have 3 giant suitcases.
Last year we went back to the Philippines, but I bring a lot, but then like when we went there, I didn't even like wear some of them. So now that I learned the lesson, that this is what's in
That's
my
it.
luggage and in my backpack. So
Okay, so I promised to give you 2 pro tips at the end, so thank you for watching. I hope you have found this video to be informative and helpful. So tip number 1 is, the Philippines remains largely a cash society. Once you get out of the big cities and you get into the province areas, anywhere out of the major cities, they're gonna have a lot of places you're gonna have cash. They don't accept credit cards. So you're probably going to want to take your local currency and convert it into pesos when you get there. The good news is there are plenty of places all over the Philippines that will exchange your currency, in my case US dollars, into pesos. The issue I had was the first time I went to the Philippines, I was actually quite offended because I would present my dollars, I would take $100 bills, and they kept getting rejected. And I quickly learned that their banks there are real particular about what they'll accept, so that makes the money changers really particular. So things that you think just as a normal bill, there's no issue with, there's no tears in it, or there's no part of the bill missing, no, they're going to be far more picky. If you have the smallest amount of writing, you can see here, there's some numbers written on here, that's an automatic no-go. That will be rejected. If there's a tear of any kind, I mean, even a slight little nick, you can forget it. Even this bill right here would be rejected because, as you can see, it's got a crease in the middle. So what I would recommend you do, and what I did last year, and I didn't have a single bill rejected, is I did go to the bank and get brand new bills, and then I got this plastic protector. I kept them laid flat in my bag, because I have traditionally folded my bill and put a rubber band around them. So that creates 2 issues. You're putting a fold in it, and then you're creating a cringe with the rubber band. So that's a total no-go. So go get brand new bills. Make sure you lay them flat and protect them somehow in your bag. If you do that, I think you'll find you'll have no issues. So tip number 2 is, one of the funnest things to do when you're in the Philippines is to rent a scooter to ride around the islands. It's fun, it's cheap, and it's one of the best ways to get around and really maximize your vacation. I've rented scooters every time I've been to the Philippines. But this last trip, we ran into a new issue. And that was, normally when you go, they obviously want to take a picture of your ID. They want to verify you have a driver's license. You fill out the paperwork, pay your fee, and you go on. Well, this year, we ran into a number of places where they not only wanted a photo of my ID or my driver's license, they wanted to keep my driver's license and or my passport, which I felt completely uncomfortable with. I mean, I need to have my driver's license with me so that if I have an accident or there's some type of incident or I get pulled over by the police, I need to show my ID. If they have it, I can't do that. And I'm certainly not leaving my passport, because obviously the passport is the most vital document I have. And if they were to lose it, or if they had some type of ill intent with it, I'm put at great risk. So I wasn't willing to do that. Now I do understand they want to make sure that they have some type of collateral that makes me come back to get the bike, to make sure I don't just leave it somewhere when I jump on the next ferry or the next airplane. So I understand their perspective, but to me, what they're asking is just completely unreasonable. When we were in Mobile, I was not able to find a single scooter place that would rent to me without me leaving my passport or driver's license. So we didn't have to use a trike the whole time we were there, which really can be kind of inconvenient. So what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to take with me one of my old driver's licenses that is now expired, but it's my full ID, but it is an expired driver's license. And I'm going to take my old passport. And if I run into another instance like that where I can't get them to accept some other way of verifying who I am and that I'm going to bring the bike back, I'm going to see whether or not giving them one of these will work, because obviously that's a lot less risky if I give them an old driver's license and I'm able to retain, my valid driver's license. So we're going to see how that works this year. I'll report back to you as we head off to the Philippines if we have that issue again, and see whether or not these resolve it. As for you, you'll have to figure out how you want to resolve it. Maybe you're comfortable leaving your ID, but it's just something I was kind of a no-go for me. I did mention earlier that in episode 4, I shared details on where we recommend staying. It is a short walk from the Manila airport. So if you want to watch that video, I'll put it above. Thank you very much. Have a great day.